listening to From the Jump.
Welcome to From the Jump, your source for all things hip-hop. I'm Syllable. This is my co-host,
Mr. White.
Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment below saying, I subscribed, and we'll try our best to reply to your comment. And today, we're going to do a reaction to the Nas NY State of Mind tour that we saw live at Circuit of Americas here in Austin, Texas, or Tejas. And what did you think about that concert? We had Nas, we had WuTang, and a surprise feature, Busta Rhymes.
So, you know, like most hip-hop shows, they don't start on time.
No.
So we had an extra
We arrived an hour late just as the show was beginning. It was perfect.
So it was all good in that regard. And then we get there. It's lit up, you know. I appreciate you, big ups for getting us those tower seats. That shit was
the Tower
premium.
Club.
I've been there a few times before, and you know, I just sat in a general admission. So
and that Tower Club was
Tower
lit.
Club is lit.
Had
Check
our
that
own
out
bar,
too.
had our own seats up front. But so we come up, and who's opening up? Like, it just goes straight to WuTang.
Straight to WuTang.
Yeah.
And the way they set it up was kind of cool because they didn't bring out everybody right away.
No.
They brought out like RZA.
We didn't even know if Method Man was going to show.
Well, we didn't see Raekwon or Ghostface either at
No.
first. They brought out RZA, Inspector Deck, Jizza, and I think maybe like You God or whatever. Like all of the other guys.
The other guys.
Like the people that didn't have famous solo careers.
The supporting cast.
So you know, it kind of started off slow, of course. If you bring out the other guys, you kind of like, you know, you're trying to get the vibe. You're not, maybe everybody didn't show up. I was concerned. I was like, oh, you know, like,
gonna
okay.
actually rap.
Like, maybe we just going to get like 50% of WuTang,
Yeah.
you know? So, but it was well lit. It was well produced. Like, everything was engineered in order. And it was a vibe.
So WuTang comes on. And I'm not hearing some super classic hits. We're doing some okay songs, right? Later on, they had, you know, Queens Get the Money, Dollar Dollar Bill, y'all.
Yeah. The Cream song is amazing,
and it was incredible.
Iconic.
Great throwback, right? And I will say this for Wu-Tang Clan, they definitely put up the effort. Now, they're a little older these days. Mm-hmm. They weren't really jumping around on stage. The hand movements were very limited. They were real laid back. You know, I don't know if they took a few no-dos to kind of get through the concert.
Well, it was Nas's birthday, which we found out, which is kind of cool because, you know, commemorating a special event with such a big artist.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's out here performing for people. Think about that. Like, your whole life is dedicated to performing for people. And even on your birthday.
Even on your birthday.
You got to come out and get the fans that they want.
That's who I came to see. NAS, right? It's just spells Nas. Like, it's dope as fuck to see Nas. I've seen Nas twice before. Mm-hmm. Once at Stubbs Barbecue here in Austin, Texas, where they actually kicked me out after one drink because I stumbled. I had one beer, and because I stumbled, they said, oh, we got to kick you out. I'm like, but I'm trying to see Nas. He was with Damian Marley. It was a weird show. I wouldn't mix Damian Marley with Nas. I wouldn't.
That was an interesting phase for Nas. I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of that. I know I got friends that really like that mashup, but
I'm not a fan.
I'm not. You know.
If I want to hear reggae, I'm going to hear reggae. If I want to hear rap, I want to hear rap.
Bob. Give me Bob all day.
If I want to hear both, listen to Kevin. No, I'm just kidding. But so. Like, that was all right, but really the lit show was at Rock the Bells in San Bernardino, California.
Right
Rock the Bells.
Right here.
This was that show.
Yeah.
This was literally that show. Nas Illmatic, right? So I fucking saw Illmatic, you know, on tour, live at Rock the Bells. Nas had 3 backup singers singing on stage with him. It was incredible. He was younger. He was hungrier, but it was dope as fuck. So Nas now, this show, comes out with these classic hits, Represent.
He comes out with You Can Hate Me Now. I think that was his lead track. You know, that's with him and Diddy on it. And that track is so iconic because I feel like as Nas was coming up, people knew he was going to be great.
From
and you got to think about it. Like, he's almost like a LeBron James of rap or like a Michael Jordan, where it was like they expected him to be great, and you got to live up to that expectation.
Yeah.
And thus far, and even in the show, this is my first time seeing Nas. He lived up to it, man. You know, they cut in from Wu-Tang and the Nas. Nas comes in, crushing it, doing all his hits.
Beautiful, just dominating, just taking it over.
But what was cool, instead of doing it like an opening act show where just Wu-Tang does their stuff, just Busta does their stuff, just Nas does their stuff, they switched it up. So Wu comes out, then Nas comes back out, right?
Yeah.
Then Wu-Tang comes back out. And then Busta comes out.
And then Busta rhymes, yeah.
Yeah, like this was really a dope production, man.
So for those of you that don't know how dope Busta Rhymes is,
oh my God,
here's a clip from the show. As you can see, this motherfucker's going off rapid fire. You have to like slow that down, play it back in slow-mo to even grasp some of what he's talking about, but he's a monster.
So I told you about when, and what was funny after that show, I actually ran into some people at one of the local places I go to that also went to the show, and we were talking about the fact that Busta was rapping so fast, if you were watching it on the video screen, it looked like he was lip syncing.
Yeah.
Like that's how fast he raps. Like the video could not keep up.
Video could not keep up. Yeah.
And he was also such a fun artist. Like he's talking shit, playing around, like he's real goofy and shit. Like I'm really glad I got to see Busta perform. You know, once again,
Busta live.
All of these people that are performing, we may never get to, not in that capacity
because of this era, right? Because of how long they've been performing, they may never do it again. So I got a serious question to ask you.
Yeah.
All right. So if Nas is the Michael Jordan of rap, right?
Yeah.
Real question: who is the Kobe?
I mean, you got guys. I feel like you got contenders. You got people like, Kendrick. You got people like J. Cole that can have really long, prolific
J. Cole
careers.
Or Kendrick are the Kobe Bryants of rap, trying to live up to
or even the LeBrons, because I feel like Nas been in the game for 30 years, so he's actually more old school than we give him credit for. Yeah. Because he's been able to keep transcending through each era, and it's like he sounds so fresh every time.
Still stays current.
Like that last Magic project that we reviewed, y'all can check that out as well. We reviewed his last few projects. They've all been crispy. Like the man still hungry, rapping like he just got out of the Queensbridge projects. It's crazy, yo.
It is crazy. You know what was also crazy is how many times rappers performing, whether it was Wu-Tang or Nas, sprayed champagne on the front row. Like everyone got a champagne bottle, shook it up, and then sprayed the front row with that bitch. And now I'm kind of thinking, okay, so you can tell the vets at the concert, right? They already got a mini umbrella. They're already ready to go. But the real vets, they already got like cups catching the champagne, and
that was Don Perignon, yo.
And they got their cousins reselling it in the audience in like airplane flight size bottles. Right? That's what's going on. The hustle never quits.
Like you ain't never been to a Wu-Tang Nas concert before, bro. Like, look.
This is actually RZA's champagne here from the stage. $10 a shot, and people will buy it. But no, it was a good show. One of the critiques I definitely have for this show is Wu-Tang Clan in particular. They did seem more like an opening act just for Nas because of how dope Nas was with his mic control, consistent volume levels throughout. Whereas Wu-Tang, it would come, it would go, like the volume would go up and down, and you couldn't actually hear everyone. That's one thing. Second of all, Wu-Tang Clan kept trying to get the crowd to chant. Now, it was dope for Cream. That was dope. It's a classic song. Everyone knew the lyrics. It was dope. But on some of the lesser known songs, it sounded like one of those old fucking videos on MTV where you're watching the music video and then it's like it's bleeping out. I'm gonna you up every time you come to my house, and it was just like, bruh,
editing was so trash.
It sounds like you're getting censored at your own show. You need to just perform the song right through.
And isn't that like a sign of the fact that maybe they, in their minds they're bigger than they really are? I'm not saying Wu-Tang is definitely international.
Classic.
But Wu-Tang as a group, we talked about it earlier, they had really only one classic project together.
36 Chambers.
That Forever double album project wasn't really that good. And then after that, Wu-Tang didn't really have any prominent projects or songs after that. It was all Method Man, Raekwon, Ghostface
Killer.
RZA had his own stuff. Everybody had their own solo stuff after that. And it like, if you look at groups in general, they broke up pretty quickly and went and did their own thing. So it's like they're immortalized really for just one project. And that's how dope 36 Chambers was. That's how game changing it was. And you know, I wouldn't call it one hit wonder because most of those songs on there are fire. But it's like it's crazy how much they were able to eat off of one project.
That is pretty
one
insane.
Dope project. And I feel like anybody out here who's trying to get going, say for us as well, it's like we keep pushing because it might only take one song on one project and then
That's
people are like, y'all the next thing, right?
Yeah.
And so never give up, man. And you never know when that break gonna come for you.
You never know. But it was a dope show. It was nice to see that. Now, one thing that really piqued my curiosity, and y'all can see from the pictures that we're showing you right now on the podcast, is that at one point, Nas is rapping in front of a background that says Queensmatic.
What are you praying hard? Come on. Now let's get it all in perspective. Of all y'all enjoyment, showing y'all the step with it.
Right, and I'm thinking, oh shit, is this the next Nas project? We got the Illmatic, the Stillmatic, now we got the Queensmatic coming up. But actually, it's a mural that was painted for him right outside the project he used to live in. And Nas, when he first saw that, was actually pretty freaked out because most of the time murals come up after a rapper's passed away. He's like, shit, am I dead? Am I hallucinating? Like,
right now.
What's going on? But there's also that importance of celebrating artists while they're still around.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that you could just see the love and feel the love in the show. Busta Rhymes is talking about, you know, how long these guys have been in the game.
They've all been rapping together 30 years.
And they're all like on one show and just still being able to pull out. It was a big crowd there.
Yeah.
That place was pretty packed. It wasn't
10,000.
It wasn't a skeleton crew show. It was hard to get out of there. It was super busy.
Yeah.
And the fact that they can still command that level is important for hip hop. For any of you younger artists who aren't really with the old school stuff, it's okay to not be with the music, but you got to understand, without them doing what they did and being able to pave the way,
lay that foundation. You
wouldn't be able to do this with rap music. They were the ones that had to really grind it out until they made the platinum era of rap, where people were just getting absorbent amount of money because they brought that first level of success. And it's like, also, if you want to be a performing artist in hip hop, an aging performing artist, I think it's important for us to understand that should be a lane. It should be allowed. These rock stars perform until they in the nursing home. They be 80 years old, still out there jamming, and they still packing stadiums. That's what we want for hip hop. We don't want hip hop to be a music that you can only do between 17 and 25.
No. And
because that messes the culture up.
Yeah, and people keep acting like they got cultural amnesia. Like hip hop's only a few years old.
Yeah,
it's like people that believe the Earth's only 5,000 years old. What did y'all think? What do you think about the NY State of Mind tour? Have you been to one of Nas's shows? What's your favorite tour he's been on? Please comment below, like and subscribe, and tune in for another episode of From the Jump.
Peace.